Welcome back to Double Dose. I'm your host, Dipesh.
And I'm your host, Daniel.
And we're here to take you from Earth to the end of the yellow brick road.
Yay.
Yay.
We're there. Okay, now test them. We're doing this. I was telling Dipesh the whole week that I put some sound bites in there so you can have a listen.
We got some fancy, funky new sound bites. I have never heard these before.
And only 4. That's all I could put in.
Exclusive. Okay. So left to right?
Left to right.
Should I get some context behind each one before I start?
No, just play and have
We're
fun.
just going through? Okay.
Yeah, go.
We're pinning the first one right now?
Yeah.
I mean, then look at this then. I can't imagine a more beautiful thing.
Okay.
You know what it's from?
I don't know that. I don't know that
It's that
soundbite.
fucking corn kid.
Oh, right. Yeah. I only know the remix version, actually. I don't know if I've actually heard the original.
That fucking kid.
Okay. Can I hit number 2?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like that one, dude. I like that one. And I'm going to be using that a lot, I think.
Yeah. I'm always like, I want to have that meme happening all the time.
I like that, dude.
Oh, shit. Here we go again.
Yeah, dude. Yes. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Okay.
Be connected!
Yeah! I love all of them, dude. I don't know what to use the BitConnect one for, though.
When shit's popping off. When shit's popping off.
Can we spam it? Like,
no, I tried to stack it. It doesn't work.
Oh.
It just restarts.
Be connected! Be connected!
I'm going to 100% be using that, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Well, welcome back, everyone. I hope you guys enjoyed that remote vlog we released last week. I was trying something a little bit different, and we got some pretty positive feedback for that. I think it went really well.
Yeah, I think it was cool.
Yeah, it was a bit fun. Bit of a day out. Beautiful weather we're having in Sydney right now. So, hit and miss.
Hit and miss. It's
either
shit
torrential
right
rain
now.
or beautiful sunshine. So, you know.
I want it now. It's fucking humid.
I want it all.
Okay, I got the goods off here right from the bat. I did some good research.
Straight from the fryer.
Stuff. Okay, you ever heard of this thing? It's called The Line. Have you ever heard of it?
I'm going to be... Sorry, guys. This is going to be the most annoying episode. I'm going to be using the shit out of these.
That's all right.
The Line.
You heard of it?
I've heard of this. In Abu Dhabi?
Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
I have heard of this.
Do you know what it is?
Funnily enough, I actually wrote this down as a note to talk to you about, and I deleted it once.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't think it was talk-worthy because
Are you serious?
Because it wasn't... from my understanding, it's only pitched... It's not in the works.
It's in the works.
It's in the works.
They're building it.
Give some background for the listeners out there.
Okay, cool.
This is pretty cool.
Civilizational revolution that puts humans first, providing an unprecedented urban living experience while preserving the surrounding nature. It redefines the concept of urban living and what cities of the future should look like. You seen the video of it?
I've seen like a animated breakdown of
what it should look like and the pictures.
By the way, the way you're talking about it, it's like you're trying to sell it to me.
This was on the website. That's how I wanted to know what they describe it like as.
Fair enough.
So the line will eventually accommodate 9 million people.
Holy crap.
9 million. Dude, do you think how many people live in Sydney?
I was just about to ask, what's the standard amount in a major city?
Like, I don't even think like a million.
It
depends on the city. Here in Australia, I don't think there's a million. There might be a million in Sydney.
I'm not too sure. Average amounts of people living in major
Sydney population is... Well, it's saying Sydney as... I got to type Sydney city.
1.5 million on average.
Sydney city population. Dude, it's only 275,000.
500,000 to 1.5 million. So this is 9 million.
9 million.
Oh my God, this thing's huge.
Right? And they said it's going to be 34 square kilometers, which is enormous. And it wants to reduce its carbon footprint to 0, creating a never-before-seen efficiencies in city functions. The ideal climate all year round will ensure that residents can enjoy the surrounding nature. Residents will also have access to all facilities within a 5-minute walk, in addition to high-speed rail, which can get you from end to end in 20 minutes.
Incredible. From my understanding, it looks like their suburbs are going to be 3-dimensional.
Yeah. Picture like, you know the Haven place in Elysium?
I don't think I ever watched it.
Oh, shit. All right. I'll show you some pictures of it. I'll bring them up on the screen for everyone else.
Right.
everyone else can look up on the screen. I'll actually show you the video that's playing.
For those of you who's listening, check out, look up the line.
The line. So, dude, it's like a giant mirror, wall to wall. I think more pictures. Like this. That's what they're wanting. Like
Little,
a three-dimensional, like
utopia.
Utopia, yeah. That when you picture like modern utopia, that's what you would picture, I guess, right?
Apparently, from what I've heard, and
look at this, like bridges and shit like that.
Looks incredible. Do you think that there will be a
what the hell
class system within this sector? Because people are going to want to pay premium, and people are just going to want.
You mean like people
needs.
right on the top with like
right on the top
facilities?
Or on that side?
I don't know.
You got your wealthy
Surely
ones, and on this side you're going to have your regular people.
It just all becomes really cyberpunk, where it's like there's the dark part of the dilapidated part.
I'm talking
of this,
downtown.
and then it all starts off really good, but then the schlebs go on one side, and the super rich. I got
don't go to District 3.
Yeah,
they got the criminals are all living in there.
Yeah, I think it will.
If they were smart, they'd constantly be moving people, forcing people to move into different districts to keep just keep it super diverse.
No one's going to be picking up their whole house and moving.
It looks identical to the people down like a kilometer down the road.
Yeah, but
each suburb would look the same.
Moving your whole shit,
dude. You know what would suck if each suburb, like the section, there's one thing unique about each one.
Yeah,
and so as a day trip on a weekend, you go, I'm going to go down to District 2 because they got the water slides down there.
Yeah.
We only got the go-karts on this end. You reckon that's an incentive to keep people
I think
moving around the city?
Be stuff like that.
That'll be smart.
So it says no roads, cars, or emissions. It will run on 100% renewables, and 95% of the land will be preserved for nature.
That's cool. I like that.
People's health and well-being will be prioritized over transportation and infrastructure, unlike traditional cities. Only 200 meters wide.
What?
So the width is 200 meters wide.
Interesting.
But it's like 170 kilometers long.
Yeah, okay.
170 Ks. By the way, that's like from driving here to the Central Coast plus times 2.
Jeez, okay. So
in
the
a
houses,
dead straight line.
The houses aren't going to be deep, but they're going to be like long. With the apartments.
Well, 200 meters is a long time.
I can't picture it.
You know when they do the 100-meter sprint? Two of them.
But that's from
that's the
back of someone's apartment to the front of their balcony, then all the walking space in between, and then across them to another balcony, and then another apartment.
I don't know how they're going to stack it.
I don't picture it being that long.
But it's going to be stacked up. So the height of this thing is 500 meters tall.
Wow, yeah.
That's half of the Burj Khalifa.
God, okay, wow.
It's like 2 Sydney towers.
I saw someone make up a model of if you were to do this to New York, and you can shrink it all from north to south.
I think they were the ones that did it.
Oh, they just made up a model
that they
to show?
showed how it would.
Yeah,
how
and so much greenery around it.
Yeah,
pretty cool.
And it's tiny surface area.
Do you think that there's going to be so much advanced tech within the line that people are going to really want to venture? I mean, of all places, it's pretty much the desert. But say it was a more luscious area. Do you think people are going to find an incentive to go out of the line? Or are you going to have everything you need within the line?
It's going to be everything you need.
Is that good for the brain, do you reckon?
If it's a perfect utopia, sure. Because you wouldn't be walking 170 meters a day every day.
It feels like you're living in a social media.
Like, if you were to open up your property and walk around your neighborhood, you could walk everywhere you need in the shops. Don't forget, it's 170 Ks long. It is a big amount of space to walk.
I'm guessing they'll have a lot of areas that are going to be really exposed to sunlight and stuff like that, and just areas that are probably under shade.
It's supposed to be like the most futuristic looking thing I've ever seen in terms of picture what you see in the future movies. It's that.
That's cool that they're going ahead with it because from what I heard, there's several pictures for these modern cities that had been made. Pretty interesting designs. And they all sound great on paper, but none of them actually were going to plan. And I heard a lot of stories about. I'm not too sure which Emirates place it is, but apparently, even though it's a very luxurious place to live, there's so much poverty because what ends up happening is there's a promise for these third world countries to get work there, and then as soon as they arrive, their passports and everything gets stripped of them, and they live on a paycheck basis, and they're essentially trapped because they're living off paycheck to paycheck, and they're trapped working in the city, and they cannot go home.
Yeah, that's pretty scary.
And it's actually all these really nice things in like Abu Dhabi. They look fantastic, but like they're sitting right on the edge of the poverty line. Like as soon as you exit that nice area, you're straight into like just crap. And
so do you think that's going to be inside the place?
I just don't think they know how to do tourism well, but in terms of like a place to live, I don't think they've sorted that out yet. There's a huge class system issue. Even a lot of the stuff they build, they don't actually build it long term. It's more like touristy stuff.
Okay.
I watched a whole documentary on it.
I saw something in Dubai where they were going about those man-made islands. And
the man-made islands
broke.
They're not lasting the test of time and actually going to be underwater within a few years.
And also that the amount of cost, it's like deserted the area there now. No one lives there.
No one lives there. And the way it was built, are we talking about that palm tree looking one?
Yeah.
The way it was built was essentially you can take public transport from the base to the tip, but there's no stops on the way. So you have to like get off, or I think you have to drive. But if you want to take public transport, you're going right to the end, or you do a loop-de-loop and you come all the way back. It's like terribly designed.
Okay.
Public transport wise.
Oh shit. Here we go again.
You know how it is.
I had to like get all the cleanest audio rips I could find and like clean up the audio.
That sounds super crisp.
Yeah. Remove all the background noise from the video.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, what are your thoughts on that? Do you think you would live in a place like that?
It was a perfect utopia.
Yeah.
Maybe. I still got some more stuff I wanted to say.
Yeah, sure.
Estimated building costs, they're saying 100 to 200 billion, with some people saying the estimates could be as high as $1 trillion to build this thing.
I can't even fathom that number. That's such a huge number.
Such a huge number. Unless it's 1 trillion SAR, which is the
$1 billion.
Saudi Arabian rupee, I guess. It is declared the Saudi government will create 380,000 jobs, spur economic diversification, and contribute 180 billion SAR to the GDP. That's huge. The project cost almost seems a modest $55,000 per resident. $55,000 US per resident living there.
So people are going to buy these apartments. It's not all renting.
Yeah, no, you got to live. You got to buy to live there. But they're saying if that's what they're saying it will cost, and 9 million people are going to live there, then it's $55,000 per resident. Apparently, let's say this isn't achievable in a country, but much lower employment costs than in developed economics, and only relates to infrastructure. Even then, it remains to be seen how high ultra-speed transit and cutting-edge infrastructure services within the most massive building ever constructed can be cost-effective. So they're curious whether it's actually going to be good. Oh, I forgot to...
Which kind of ties into what we're just talking about with that whole area as a whole. It looks like they put the money into these things, but they don't really do it long term.
Yeah.
Sounds great on paper, gets tourisms over there, gets the money in quickly, and they're just out.
I hope it's not like that because it's such a big cost.
Because it's a really cool idea.
Yeah, I hope they do it. It says... The linear design underpinning the line is not a new idea. The Spanish urban planner Arturo Soria V. Mata developed the linear city concept in 1882. The concept allowed great efficiencies in infrastructure such as water, electricity, gas, and transport. By incorporating it along a narrow urban corridor, a key plank of the design was to ruralize the city and urbanize the countryside. The line echoes this concept. However, one wonders about its impacts on the countryside. How might a continuous 500-meter high mirror barrier reflecting the desert heat and light cutting across the landscape for 170 kilometers affect local biodiversity?
Good question.
You have no idea what that's going to do. It's a giant mirror because that's what it has to use for the solar, I guess.
Yeah. Could be terrible for the just the atmosphere.
Could be.
The heat coming off that thing
would be enormous.
Could shift the world. Who knows? I mean, like I know the things that are built that big definitely have an effect on the planet. There was this dam made in China, I believe, that since its construction, it holds so much water that ever since its construction, it's actually slowed down the rotation of the Earth a certain amount of milliseconds per year since its construction.
Of what?
A dam.
Oh my
It's
god!
such a big dam, and it's holding so much water that it's actually slowed down the Earth's rotation by a few, I think, milliseconds. But that's every year since its construction.
Adding up.
Since its construction.
Crap.
That's how much. That's how big it is. So that's to have an effect on the Earth's rotation. Who knows what this could do for the ecosystem? Could it send a lot of heat into the sky? Could that have an issue with cloud formations?
Yep.
Then that rain that affects rain, that affects
imagine
water,
the heat because
sea.
you're getting the sun off the sand and then doubling the sun.
Oh my
back
god,
onto
you're
the sand.
baking.
I don't think anything could.
The sand will
walk
just
in
turn
the-
into glass.
What if it's like it's like some Riddick shit where it's like can't be out in the sun in the reflection at this time or it'll kill you.
Yeah.
So they're saying
The glass dunes of the
because
line.
it lines up, is oriented east to west. This may be optimal for some solar thermal management, but is likely to cast large shadows in midwinter, and who knows what that will do.
Okay.
It's a big thing. The line aims for zero emissions. Energy comes from renewable sources. Green hydrogen earns export income. Wastewater is recycled, and it features in the latest in a smart city technology. Mixed-use buildings. Car ownership is skewed in favor of walking, cycling, and public transport. However, the materials and construction of such an enormous project can be very emission intensive.
Right.
Making all that glass and shit. The concept claims no one would be more than 2 minutes from nature. In other words, the urban edge of ground level. But does this consider the waiting times for a lift? Without careful design, a high reliance on vertical transportation may stymie hopes for genuinely walkable or bicycle-friendly precincts. Would you live in something like this?
I don't know. It doesn't sound appealing to me personally. But I guess.
But like,
I haven't really experienced a lot of different living conditions, so I mean, I wouldn't rule it out as giving it a go. But in terms of like picking up my life and just going for it, I don't think I would.
Yeah, to just gamble on it?
Yeah,
But let's say you knew it was good and everyone been there for a couple of years and like everyone's saying it's amazing and I would never go back to like city living where you get in cars to get around everywhere.
I'll say this, there's one thing that's really worrying to me about the whole concept, and that is you're going to have a lot of influencers going there, flocking there straight away, and it's all about, I want to be the first person to be there. I want to be vlogging it live. I want to be on socials being like the first people to live there.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be around those people.
Okay.
I want to be far away from people that want to be like there because they can show a lifestyle being there rather than living in a nice utopian society. They're there for the more superfluous reasons.
I think I'd give it a go, but I gotta know it's good. I don't even think
I'll go on a holiday.
Personally,
I'll check it out for a holiday.
I don't think it's going to be built.
I don't think it's going to be built.
I don't think they're going to make it.
I think there's way too much money to...
I think the project's going to be abandoned and they're going to go bankrupt. Like the government is... like the Prime Minister is the one backing it.
Interesting. I can't see it being built.
I don't think they'll finish it.
No.
I think that it will like lose steam just like the man-made
islands
and it'll just run out of money and it's all good in theory, but then
it sounds nice, it's appealing, it's cool to get some photos and visit, but no one actually wants to live there. And also there's nothing there unless they actually can make it appealing for people and families to live. I don't give a fuck if there's going to be a Dolce & Gabbana shop down the road from me. What are you going to do there?
Nature everywhere. I'm just like, how are they going to keep all this nature alive?
It feels like it's a pretty big balance. When I mean big balance, there's a lot of industry and nature. So it's almost like the nature isn't so much nature like you go to a park. It's more like there's just a lot of greenery amongst the industry.
But there's supposed to be parks inside of this thing.
But for me, it's hard to really enjoy a park if I'm seeing like structures and shit around me.
Yeah.
I want to be absolutely encapsulated by nature to actually feel like I'm in nature, not surrounded by concrete and
That's
steel.
what I think as well. It's like it's always going to be that weird disconnect where it's like the fake park.
Yeah, it's just all man-made. Like you can feel when it's just like an artificial environment like that.
I think that's going to be a big issue, but I don't know how long it's going to take to build. I actually didn't see that when they said they'd finish it, apparently. But construction has started now. This month.
Imagine the foundations for something that long.
They're digging it out.
Oh my god.
So they showed the comparison. It's
They'll take
miles,
20 years to build or some shit.
I think it's going to take forever.
Oh my God. It'll be constantly under construction, man. And the new technology is constantly coming out as it's under construction. Forget about it.
If you can lie down all the good cables and electricity, then the tech can come after.
Well, then 20 years' time, we figured out a new way of sharing information quicker.
Put fiber optics down, you'll never run out of speed.
Oh, man.
We got cables running across the whole of the fucking continent to get our data to like the US and stuff.
Australia right now, they're like, what?
And so those fiber optics supply the whole country.
Optics?
No telephone like that?
You mean a copper?
Copper.
Copper wire, yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's say it does do it
Mm.
and it does get amazing. How do you think it's going to affect the world? You think people are all going to be like, we want this in our city, build it in our city, we want New York like this, do it?
I think, unfortunately, all the westernized, developed major cities have already dug themselves a massive grave because all I've seen them do for the last 10, 15 years is just slap band-aids on broken bones. They never want to plan in the future for all these, flocking of population. They just constantly just keep adding as they expand, and you can just see, especially Sydney, is so focused on the CBD that I don't think they actually even understand that Sydney as a whole does not work well. It works well for the people that live right next to the CBD, and that's all they care about developing. Mm. And when they talk about tourists, come to the CBD, come to Sydney CBD. I just don't think it will work unless the country develops it in a new area, like where the line is developed. It's like far away. It's just like you can picture New South Wales. I don't know.
Put it in Orange.
Yeah, in Orange, like 3 hours, Gunnedah or some shit. 3 hours inland. Boom, a new line. The spiral.
9 million people.
The spiral.
That's like half the population of Australia.
Yeah, probably.
It's fucking jammed in.
Everyone.
That's what 9 million people would be. What, we got like 22, 23 million people? We don't have that much.
We don't have that many people. We have a lot of overpopulation in the cities, but in terms of land and space, there's plenty of it.
Yeah.
We're just, for some reason, cramming everyone into a little city instead of expanding.
Yeah. Anyway, I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, man.
But the whole concept, I'm like, oh my God, someone's trying to do this shit.
Is it a team of like Shahs or is it the government?
I think it's the Prime Minister.
There's one Shah, he's like,
the guy who's
get me the architect.
He's like the authoritarian leader of the place.
Do you think it's done
something Muhammad? I'm sure his name's Muhammad.
Well, usually it is. Isn't that the most common name in the world? Male name in the world?
Yeah, it is. But his name is something Muhammad.
I mean, I'm not sure if this is actually factual, but I think every firstborn male is named Muhammad. I'm not too sure if that's a fact.
What the hell?
I'm not too sure if that's a fact. I could be wrong. But do you think it's a legitimate business venture, or is it a... Be connect! What's up?
That guy's so on it.
Do you think it's going to be one of those things?
My God.
And then they all go to the Cayman Islands and there's all these people like being like, when's the park arrive? And there's just like a camel chewing at their front lawn. That's what it sounded like. That's what the camel sounded like.
Connect. I think it's going to be like a big connect, my friend.
I think it's going to be a big connect.
Big time.
Yeah.
I think it's going to run.
All these investors, all these shops, get your Rolexes in.
I'm bankrupt 2 seconds later. It's like, where's my money? It's gone.
It's gone. It go away.
It went into all the
offshore accounts.
Yeah, that's it. See ya. I don't know. Hit me with a shower thought.
A shower thought. I got something else for you, actually.
Okay.
We're gonna save the shower thoughts for later. Mm-hmm. I want to talk to you about something that's apparently happening in the world right now, and that is a glitter shortage in the world. Have you heard about this?
There is? What?
So the world is running out of glitter. So there's this company called Glitterex, who are one of the largest glitter manufacturers in the world. Mm-hmm. And an interview was done over the phone between a journalist of the New York Times and with the manager of customer service, whose name is Lauren Dyer at Glitterex. Investigating this shortage, the journalist asked if we can find out who the biggest buyer was. And she said, no, I absolutely know that I cannot say that. And she also followed up by saying, you will never guess, and I'll just leave it at that. The journalist asked, why can't you tell me? And she responded, because they don't want anyone to know that it is glitter. Okay. Thousands of people online have been trying to figure out this all over the world, and no one can figure out what this could be for. But how sus does that sound? She goes, because they don't want anyone to know that it is glitter. So this massive company is buying up a lot of glitter in the world, and no one knows what it's being used for. Any thoughts?
Do you know?
I don't know. No one knows. People are trying to figure it out. Isn't that kind of scary?
It's got to be some food.
Especially if it's some sort of non-disclosure agreement with the wholesaler to say you are not to say to anyone that we are your biggest buyer of glitter. To the point where there's actually a glitter shortage. They're buying that much. What could it be for, man? I reckon it's for something so sus that we would be absolutely shocked that we found out that it was glitter. And I reckon you're on the money. It's something to do. Food. It's something that affects humans big time. Like it's something that we use. It wouldn't be paint. It wouldn't be something like that. It'd be something like, dude, you can picture it'd be something so messed up, like probably to make apples just shine a little bit better for supermarket stores. Something sus like that.
That's what I think. It's got to be food related. We're eating it.
It's going to be something that when people find out, they're going to be like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Did you know that fish scales are actually used in lipstick?
I heard that in like whale blubber or something.
I think, yeah, whale blubber as well.
In makeup.
Yeah.
That's
crazy
terrible.
Stuff. Oh, I think it's whale vomit.
I thought it was the blubber.
What's the whale vomit called? It starts with an A.
Apple.
Oh, it's in perfume, is it? Ambergris, a solid waxy substance originating in the intestine of the sperm whale. In Eastern cultures, ambergris is used for medicines and potions as a spice.
Eastern culture only.
It's in the West. It's used to stabilize the scent of fine perfumes.
Oh God!
So yeah, some nice perfumes, you guys. You got some nice
whale juices.
Yeah,
That's
some
pretty
nice
disturbing.
Sperm whale.
What the hell could it be? Glitter.
What could the glitter being used for that a company cannot disclose what it that they're even buying it? Do you reckon it could be harmful? And if found out, it could be so bad that we've been ingesting it this whole time.
It's got to be something we eat or put in our mouths. Toothpaste?
Toothpaste? To make it teeth look sparkly, yeah. I was thinking that. Could it be hair products to make your hair look healthier, even though it's really not?
Like they grind down the glitter. It has to be something that
it'd be on such a small level that it won't look shiny,
down.
but it looks luscious. I reckon we're on the money. I reckon it's something probably edible, and you can imagine it being used to make foods look more appealing.
Yeah.
Butters, just that sheen. Make you feel like you're using something real nice.
It's got to be like chewing gum?
Nah, not chewing gum.
I feel like chewing gum. Like something plasticky. Something that binds it together. It can't be...
Toothpaste sounds like a cool one because you can imagine that a lot of toothpaste companies would make a lot of money to make your teeth look like they're appearing to get whiter if they got a bit of a gleam on them.
And you're just thinking shiny.
Yeah, but what else are you going to buy glitter for?
I don't know. Scary.
Yeah. To actually cause a shortage. And I just hate the way she said it because they don't want anyone to know that it is glitter. So scary. Not going to sleep tonight.
Probably.
The Sandman's going to come and he's going to shoot glitter in my eyes.
Mr. Sandman! And he's going to say that.
Dude, I'm going to be just shutting my eyes and then I'm going to hear, and I'm going to be like,
oh shit. Here we go again.
Dun, 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 dun.
Now I'm thinking from that corn. Now I'm thinking from that corn. It's like maybe corn is... Nah, you can grow that shit. It's got to be something that is not grown. Like, I don't think apple because you can grow a fucking apple. I think...
No, but you can imagine...
the wax coating?
Yeah, the sprays and things to make it look more appealing once it's grown.
It is glitter.
Meat in the packing industry?
I don't know.
Make it look more appealing? Because, they put under pink lights.
I really don't know. I'm scared.
Man, it's really disgusting when you see what happens behind the butchers. Finding cysts and stuff in the meat, they just chop it out.
Yeah.
You get the clean cuts. So gross.
Yeah, well, they can't throw away the whole leg over it.
No, but I reckon if a lot of people actually saw the way their meat was prepared, they probably would be off meat.
If no one had a butcher, you'd all be cutting it yourself. No one would be eating meat.
No one would be eating meat.
You wouldn't be
Not
able
in this day and age.
I wouldn't be able to kill the fucking
In the
pig.
Western world, no one would.
I'd tell you, I wouldn't be able to kill the pig. I'd be too upset.
I'd be so attached to an animal so quickly.
As
soon as you see its eyes, you'd be like, that's it.
Like, I could grow the chickens and get the eggs from their butts, but like, I don't think I could kill one.
No, I couldn't.
Chop its head off and know it's going to die.
Unless I could ensure that it's absolutely so quick and they didn't see it coming.
Yeah, but could you do the final cut? I think I'd be shocked cutting it and all the blood is shooting out.
It'd be a method I'm talking about. Like if it's a way you can
stuff it in a bag and slam it on a wall.
Yeah, grab it by the neck and just swing it around until the head rips off.
That's horrific.
Some people do that.
Oh, God.
They just get a chicken and just go whoop, poof, and then that's it. Got a headless chook.
Jeez.
Man, did you see that? This was years ago. These two scientists kept the chicken alive after it was decapitated.
Yeah, and they fed it with an eyedropper for 2 days.
It was living for a long time.
That's fucked
And
up.
I think they forgot to feed it once, and that's when it finally died. But they were putting, essentially injecting the food down its neck. Decapitated.
It's living without a brain.
What's going on there?
It's scary.
Why was it walking around?
How?
There's nerves and stuff, but they die off. Like when your lizard tail chops off, and it's going like that for ages, and it will slow down. And then the energy will dissipate. I heard that you should never approach a snake's head, even if it's decapitated, until the sun has gone down, because the energy within it will keep it alive. Because they're cold-blooded.
Yeah.
And if you put your head there, it will still bite. It can still kill you.
Yeah.
So you need to make sure the sun's absolutely down and gone for the energy to fully dissipate out of its body.
You stomp its head in.
Oh, you could do that.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. Stomp its head in.
Yeah. But if you say, get a shovel and you decapitate it, don't pick up the head. Don't pick up the head.
No. Swing it by the tail and break its neck.
Swing in the chain. Swing in the chain.
Swing its by the tail and bash it against a tree, and the whiplash snaps its spine.
Gah, what a way to go.
It's like wrapping around the tree and goes bang!
From the tail to spine.
Yeah, that's what it is. All right. I came across this really cool kind of thought experiment, and I thought it was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
How many people do you think you have to put in a room before you are guaranteed to at least have 2 of them share a birthday?
Oh, I know of this one.
You do know it.
I can't remember. Was it like 22 or something?
It was crazy low.
Yeah. It was like there's a high chance. You only need a small amount of people for them to have, for 2 people to have a birthday.
I don't know. There was such a kooky thing when I read it. I couldn't believe it.
I remember hearing that when I was quite young, and I didn't believe it either.
Yeah.
It's still hard to believe because I guess odds.
Yeah.
I've only met one person that has my birthday.
Okay. We got one person in my family that shares my birthday.
And you've been living for many years.
Mm-hmm.
You'd think you'd run into someone, but apparently you get it I think it's under 30.
Yeah, it is.
It's like 22 or something.
Yeah, it's 23.
Yeah, wow.
So, but I would have thought in my head it's 367 for sure, because that guarantees you're going to be...
What, 2 more on a day of the year? Like what?
Leap year.
Leap year, right.
So they do 366 plus 1, then you're guaranteed. It's like, no, but it's way less.
Is there any explanation as to why?
Yeah, there was. So most people guess around the middle, 184, because it's more than half of 366. So it's like you're at that point, it's like you're more than likely to have someone because you're over the halfway.
Yeah.
But the correct answer is 23. If you throw randomly 23 people selected into a room, it's more likely than not that the 2 of them would share the birthday.
So you're saying if you increase the number, there's a less likely chance? Is that what that means?
No. It's saying people would guess usually 184, but the correct answer is 23. And then if you put 23 people into a room, it's actually more likely that someone would share a birthday than not share a birthday.
Oh, okay. I see what they say. How they're saying that. It's interesting. I can't really make sense of it in my head.
Yeah.
Especially because we've all been to parties. and I'm sure you would know if someone had your
That
birthday.
means like a small party.
Small party. Every family gathering I have.
It's more likely someone shares a birthday. I'm like, but that doesn't make sense.
That doesn't make sense because every group, my family get-togethers we're over 20, and no one. There's a lot of January babies, but no one has my birthday.
Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting.
But does anyone in your family share a birthday?
Yes. Are we talking like cousins and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But see, someone sharing it. It doesn't have to be you.
Oh yeah, sorry. Why the hell did I think that way? You're right, dude. You're right. And we're about. I think we're about 24, 25 in total.
But see, that's pretty low, and someone already shares.
They're about 3 or 4 years apart. Interesting, man. Very interesting.
So they give it the details. It's like, let's make an assumption for simplicity, but this won't void the argument. Just consider a regular year is 365. Assume that 365 birthdays are all equally likely, right? Sure, it's known that in reality, the birthdays of the population are subject to some variation, but that's okay. Any sort of irregularities in reality would only increase the chance of a shared birthday. So we have a room of 23 people. We will actually celebrate the probability that they all have different birthdays and show that it is less than 50%. We walk into a room, grab a person, Frank. We put him to the side. Then we choose another person, Betty. Probability that Betty has a different birthday to Frank is 364 out of 365, right?
Okay.
It's one person. As there are 364 days in the year that Frank was not born on. When we grab another person, Sharon, and bring her over to the side, there is 363 out of 365 probability that Sharon doesn't share a birthday with Frank and Betty, as there's 363 remaining birthdays of the birthday they could fall on. If we keep doing this, bringing a person over and calculating the probability that they don't share a birthday with the group before adding them to the group, we generate a bunch of probabilities. 364, 363, 362, 344, all that. The first probability arose from demanding that Frank and Betty do not share birthdays. The second probability that Sharon doesn't share a birthday with Frank or Betty. The probabilities continue in this way. If we wanted to know the overall probability, that is the probability that not two people share a birthday, we need to multiply together all the probabilities. In doing so, that there is a 49.27% chance that none of them share a birthday, and that means there is a 50.73% chance that at least two of them share a birthday.
You lost me, dude. There's too much quick maths going on there.
Because it's not saying you compare this person to that person. You have to compare that person to every person.
Okay, so it's multiplied every time.
You're multiplying.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you can go at repeating the calculations for a number other than 23 in particular. You can prove that 22 people isn't enough for more than 50% chance. Also, 57 people will give you 99% chance of a shared birthday.
How many, sorry?
57.
99%.
99%.
Wow.
Pretty cool.
It's very cool. Makes
Shows
you
how
think,
maths is
makes you
crazy.
think, I guess, just going to your office and
Heaps of
you'll
people share a
100% find probably more than two people sharing a birthday.
100%.
99%.
Pretty cool.
Interesting. Speaking of shared birthdays, I wanted to talk to you about this phenomenon called cryptophasia. Cryptophasia is a language developed by twins that only the two children can understand. The word has its roots from Greek, crypto meaning secret, and phasia meaning speech.
Yep.
I actually have witnessed this. My cousin's children, they're twins, and it's a boy and a girl.
How old?
This was when they were 3.
Okay.
And they were, I guess, late bloomers, so they weren't really talking, but they 100% spoke in their language to each other.
Just mumbling.
It was a language.
Like babies. Oh, just like, but what did it sound like? Blib, 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 blib?
No, well, they had a nickname for each other, which the parents never knew where it came from. They call each other Nanny or Nanny. And you heard them. They'd be like, Nanny. And then they would also speak to each other. And you'd think it was baby talk, but they knew exactly what they were talking to each other. And apparently it's very, very common for twins to develop their own language with each other. And it's not reminiscent on anything around their surroundings. It's just a made-up language that they will only know themselves.
And they still know it?
I'm not sure if it's something they keep. I didn't really look into that.
But this was happening there from the minute they were born. It was kind of like them babbling to each other. And
I think
stuff?
because they're always in the same bedroom together. They're constantly with twin babies. They're always going to be next to each other. They're always going to be talking. You're going to be talking at them, but even when you're not around them and they're just making sounds and stuff, they're syncing up.
Yeah. Okay.
And they would probably start to develop language together, which is pretty interesting.
So your cousins They do talk like that. They babble they talk to each other still.
This was many years ago. They're now like 24, 25 now.
Okay,
but
right.
This was when they came from England. When they first arrived, they were in nappies, dude. They were little kids, little babies, toddlers. And I remember them walking around my house, and I mean, I'm not talking that sitting on the couch having a conversation, but it's almost like you could picture like what they're kind of saying, like, no, don't do that, or give me this, or follow me. Those types of phrases, but they had their own language for it.
Okay. Interesting. Pretty cool.
What do you think would happen if you left a bunch of babies together that weren't twins and twins all together in the same room, and you had maybe one person tending to them, like a, what do you call it?
Well, and they're like growing up together.
For 3 years. Do you reckon they would all develop?
Contact?
Do you reckon only the twins would have the cryptophasia?
Nah,
or everyone would.
They'd all pick it up.
You reckon?
Yeah.
Or is it a twin thing?
I don't think it's a twin thing. I think the twin thing happens because they're together so frequently and they're identical ages, and it's just that I think if you had any babies that spent that much time together and did that, or then probably get it quicker because they're slightly more in tune.
There's a weird connection that twins have, man.
Well, dude,
it's
you
very
have to
freaky.
think about it. They are exactly the same person that's split in half. When we were talking about that theory that, people are...
but not necessarily. This was a boy and a girl.
Fraternal. Oh, okay.
So there's the other type.
I'm just saying it's
2X.
more... I think it's easier for twins to... even I'd say it's easier for identical twins to come up with that stuff more and do stuff together more so than anyone because they are essentially the same person. If we were talking about that, that theory that we're all beaming into this consciousness through meat sacks, and it's like, what is consciousness? We're all just kind of alive in the consciousness, and the meat sack beams in at a certain level.
Yeah.
Well, imagine having two of that antennas that are exactly in sync.
Antenna's stronger. The connection's stronger.
Not the connection, but the connection between, you have two antennas almost beaming in at the exact same frequency. It's almost like you're tapping into the same consciousness, right?
And you brought up a few episodes ago how children are more in tune on that frequency.
Yeah, so I'd say out of everyone, it's them having an easier time, but I think anyone can come up with that language as long as they grow up at a similar time and have always around each other.
Okay.
I think it's possible.
But they have to be the same age.
Well, I think, they have to be the same age.
Yeah.
Pretty similar.
Developing the same rate.
Developing the exact same rate. Pretty much. Within a couple months, I would say. Because they show even at between 3 months and 6 months in a baby's life, massive changes.
Yeah.
In the brain. So,
I'd like to see more studies on that and to see if there's any similarities between twins on opposite side of the world. Is there similarities in the speech patterns they're saying? Things like that. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. There is all these interesting studies done on babies like that. You just got to really go look at them.
Twins are very interesting. Twins are very, very interesting.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, it's a crazy place, my friend.
How much time we got?
Let me check.
Quantum shower thought time? Is it quantum shower thought time?
I think it's time for the quantum shower.
It's time. Okay, Daniel. More of a question.
Yeah.
Quantum shower thought question.
Sure.
If you could interview any Simpsons character, who would it be and why?
God, that's pretty deep because I want to get someone interesting.
Have a think. Have a little think.
I think Groundskeeper Willie.
Groundskeeper Willie. Wow.
That guy's lived such an interesting life.
Would you want to interview him because you want to know his whole roots?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
What's particular? What particular about him?
Just he's got some crazy stories.
Why he is the way he is? How did he end up there?
Because he's so like just.
Why is he so jacked?
He's amazingly jacked, but also why is he...
Grease me up, woman!
He's got the craziest stories about like what was normal, like wrestling wolves. Was
yeah.
When he was like a baby. And he's like where did you grow up? How did you learn this?
Yeah.
He must have had the most interesting life, I swear.
I feel like we've had a flashback of every character, if you think about it, but for me, from thinking about it just quickly, I didn't think about it too much. Mr. Burns.
Yeah, he's the oldest. And the flashbacks he gets
he has
hilarious.
some crazy... Not only does he have such an interesting lifestyle and interests, but the way he even has his whole house set up, the traps he has, the gadgets he has, they're so specific. What lifestyle did he live and what world was he living in to have that in mind when he got rich? Or was he,
Like he's got the lab-grown monkeys with wings.
So
Fly,
specific.
my pretties.
So specific.
Fly.
So many things. I would love to know what his lifestyle's like. What does he do in his free time,
Yeah.
Because he's stupidly rich. And he does dumb, crazy things with it. Like, he's in security systems and all that. The bees and like who fucking thinks of that?
Yeah.
That is just so eccentric. I'd love to know. I'd interview him. Write that down.
Write this down. Yeah, I'd do that, or maybe like,
who's the scientist? He'd be pretty interesting to interview.
Professor Frink. Yeah,
I think he'd be
cool.
pretty interesting to interview.
I think he'd be impossible to talk to.
You reckon you'd end up figuring out something pretty cool together?
He
always has crazy gadgets.
The Bigatron. He's like, we need the shrink ray, and he's like, well, how do you make it bigger? He's like, we need. What are you, crazy? We need some bigifying rays. Like, we don't have the technology to do that. And he's created something that can shrink something, and then he couldn't make it big.
Yeah.
That's funny as hell.
Oh, man. That's so good.
So many good episodes. Do I have any quantum thoughts?
Found the machine at the back?
No, I don't know if I did today.
It's an old machine. You got to give it a little kickstart sometimes.
Yeah. I have a funny story though.
Yeah, go for it.
When I was a kid, picture this. It's like,
take me there.
Okay, so we had an alarm system in our house. Like, it's pretty common. Like, everyone's got an alarm in their house. Like, unlocks the doors. You got to lock the doors and movements in the middle of the night. Whatever. When you leave, it's like, you got to put the alarm on. The way my old house was set up was that the alarm was in my front room. Sorry, not my front room, my parents' front room, which was actually their bedroom, because as you came in the hallway, the first door on their left was their bedroom, because we lived on a single story.
Mm-hmm.
And they had so you go into the room, hallway's there, hallway's here, front door's here. You go there, and then you make like a turn, and so that the hall went left, and then you go into the room, and the room was like there. Right? Makes sense? The alarm was about here. As you came in on the door there, you go left, and it was on this wall. So
okay.
As you came in. I hope I'm making sense.
I'm not following your diagram, but
All right, do it again.
Yeah, so that again. Draw that up again.
We got the hallway here.
Where are you entering from?
The back of the house. We're entering
front door?
right here.
Yeah.
That's the entrance. As you come in, it'd be like front rumpus room on the right.
Mm-hmm.
My parents' room is here. But as you went in, it was like it went to like a small hallway, and then there was like a big room here. So it looked like that. So as you'd come up the stairs in our front balcony.
Is it because there's something was here?
Yeah,
the bathroom.
The bathroom was
ensuite.
here.
Okay.
So there's a wall on the back of it, right?
Okay. Yep.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
So
you enter here.
Yeah.
And you go in, go down here, and then there's like a bed here or something like that.
It's exactly right.
Okay.
That's exactly what it was.
I'm an architect.
And I did the best in this.
I'm doing the business.
I was watching more of that show last night. The other night. It's so funny. Where he's like trying to eat the hot dog in the middle of the meeting, and he's like asleep. He's like, I've never been so tired in my whole life.
And doesn't there a bit hanging out? He's like,
yeah. He starts choking on it. Everyone has to save him.
And he's like, I don't know what's happening. I'm so tired.
Yeah. I've never been so tired in my life. Anyway, the alarm's here. My dad said he woke up in the middle of the night and he could hear the alarm being pressed.
Is this just at the bedroom door?
Yeah, it's like if he was on the right-hand side, so if he peeked his head all the way around the corner, he could just see the door from the bed and see what was going on. And this was like 4 a.m. and all he hears is beep, 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 beep.
Scary.
He's like, I think someone's trying to like do something. He's like,
disconnect the alarm. So
what the fuck's going on? He looks in and he's squinting real hard and he can see someone.
Oh!
Beep, 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 beep. Right? Dude, it was me.
Dude, I would have shit myself.
It was
especially
in
with
the
the
middle of
pressing
the
of that.
night. In the middle of the night, I was apparently sleepwalking.
Oh my god.
And I had run to the front door and just gone beep, 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 and I'm spamming the fuck out of the buttons. And Dad's like, Daniel? And I look at him and I just fucking bolt down the thing. And then he goes, and then he went to my room to check on me and I was already back to sleep.
As a father, I don't care if that's my son or not, I would be shitting myself if I said, Daniel, he looked at me and he sprinted off back to bed.
Yeah.
I would have thought that's a demon.
Yeah.
I would have been so scared in the middle of the night hearing that. Dude, oh my god. It doesn't sound scary, but that whole interaction would have been terrifying.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
But Dad was so chill about it. He woke me up the next day and he's like, you want to hear a funny story?
And running as well.
Oh, he thought I was in, he said I looked like I thought I was in trouble or something.
Look like you got caught.
I don't know if that really happened.
Because you might have been having that. You might have been doing the
kid.
sleepwalking where you're seeing.
Yeah, I'm not like awake.
You're in your own head.
Yeah.
Mm.
Crazy that can even happen.
I have had that.
You start functioning and you're not even awake.
I had what are they called? Night terrors, aren't they?
What?
Where you kind of are in a deep nightmare, but you can't wake out of it, and your body's reacting to it.
Yeah, but were you walking around the house?
No, I wasn't walking. I had sleepwalked a few times when I was younger, but I remember we had just gotten back from the Easter show, and I don't know what it was about it, but I was having this nightmare where I was stuck in a hamster wheel, but for humans. And it was like super, super bright, like a roller coaster ride that you would have seen at Easter show, like all these lights. And I just remember seeing like a blur, and I had to keep running. And I, in my head, was running. And Mum's right beside me, telling me, calm down. And I kept telling her, I have to keep running. And I was sweating, dude. When I finally snapped out of it, I realized I was lying down and my mum's over me telling me to calm down, relax, it's right, you're just having a nightmare. But I was looking at her. I was telling her, no, I have to keep running. But I was seeing this fucking crazy shit.
Were you sick that night?
You know what? It was a very, very hot night.
Okay.
I was sweating so much and I must have, had the blankets over me and stuff like that. And I don't know about...
It takes me a while to wake up.
I barely dream these days, but I notice I dream a lot more if I have the blankets on me and it's not cold. It's like my body overheats and it just goes into dream mode.
Interesting. It must have something to do with the brain like that.
Yeah, it just overheats and it goes, all right, go safety mode. Take you to a nice place.
Yeah.
Happy place. Here's the Easter show, but it's a hamster wheel.
I find that if I wake up close to my alarm time and go back to bed, my dreams are super vivid.
Yes.
Super vivid.
I find I only have the most craziest dreams is if I've woken up and I go to sleep for that like 10 minutes and I go into a deep dream that's like cooked.
Yeah. Yeah. But I do dream every night.
I wish I did, man. I only dream those little fragments in the morning. If you wake up and then you force yourself to go back to bed for like 10, 15 minutes, that's the only time I'll dream. Other than that, I don't dream that much anymore. I need to sort that out.
I dream way more since I've been on my health regime. Stopped smoking anything and and no alcohol.
Nice. Okay.
Exercise helps too.
Maybe this should be my last beer.
I mean, then look at this then. I can't imagine a more beautiful thing.
It's okay. I'm gonna have another beer after this.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, guys, thank you so much again for listening to another episode of Double Dose. We will catch you next week.
On the flippity flap.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.